Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I wanted to share with you my guildmate's arena offense that he's been using to try and clear my SCARLITA stall defense, and in his most recent attempts, out of 4 attacks he managed to beat me 3 times. It is a team composition you can try to also build on your account. It doesn't have any celestial hypogean heroes on it, and it is making good use of Ludovic in the incredible sustain healer role that he has. And overall, from just my experience so far with Ludovic being released, he is a very strong hero and a very good option to be using even in arena. So if we analyze the team composition here, you might notice there is a Vala, but if you guys don't have a Vala built up, I think you could also replace her for something like Smokey to have even more sustain, and over time you will just work down all of the enemies with OD here. But either way, so you have 2 key support heroes, Coco, which has the best damage reduction skill in the game right now, and because he's above Mythic Plus as well, he will also come with the shielding. Ludovic is going to be an incredible healer and one of the highest amount of healing that can be provided, as long as his Everboom Fields is close to a lot of his allies, which the thing is with this ability, it gets to keep moving around the map, and it has really good AI, always targeting the lowest health allies, and so he has so much sustain in his kit. And I honestly feel like Ludovic is a really good option, and I haven't recruited for him yet, but I'm pretty tempted to recruit for him before the end of his raid up, but we'll have to wait and see. And then we have Thorin here. Thorin is going to be one of your best arena offense tank options because he just has so many lives in his kit. He has protection for one of your damage dealer allies, whoever he is soul pacted with. And he also can deal massive damage with his damage reflect, like even here, as you can tell, dealing 1.5 billion damage almost. And then OD. OD is going to be a hero everyone builds up for Dream Realm, and he has a lot of good PvP uses. He is very strong there, and he can deal a lot of damage, and especially good at working down one enemy at a time, which is what gives you that advantage of, for example, if you can kill one enemy, then you're 5v4, and then it's much easier to then kill the next enemy, and it kind of, there's a momentum involved in how OD helps kill the entire enemy team. And as you can see here, he contributed the bulk of the damage. And now for Vala he used here because he has her built up, and Vala had her mark on my Haywin the entire fight, which will cause Haywin to get reduced energy recovery, and I don't think my Haywin casted ultimate a single time, so definitely for that use his Vala did really well. But there are definitely replacements here, and I think even if you went for something like Smokey instead of Vala, it would just be even more difficult to kill this entire team. And if you look at his team right now, he doesn't even have a factional synergy. So no 10% bonus stats or any bonus stats, and still he managed to clear our Paragon 1 full team of SCARLITA stall. But he did use, and we're going to now get into the replay because I think I've talked enough, but I'm going to comment on something really important which you will see later on. Okay, so Odie's in the back with the Enlightening spell. That is a good way to counter Iron because that means he will not be crowd controlled by the Iron, and as you can see, my Iron rocked right into Odie's face, and Odie is going to already make this a 5v4 match. Coco and Ludovic are both really safe on the left side here, and the Everboom Field is on our Thorin and OD to keep them alive, which is the perfect position for it right now. Now SCARLITA is going to descend, and she descends onto Coco. The reason for this is SCARLITA will always descend onto the enemy who is the furthest into their territory or the allies' battlefield. And here, because Thorin was quite far towards our side, Coco was actually the first hero in line here, and so SCARLITA was going to land on her. And that is really bad for SCARLITA, because what you want in a SCARLITA team is you want the entire enemy team to be grouped up and SCARLITA to land right in front of all of them, and then when she smashes with her axe, it will hit everyone, and then she will go for her dash slash attack, and that will knock hopefully everyone off the board. But because Coco was the one who was the furthest into the enemy's territory here, she was the one who SCARLITA landed on, and SCARLITA just was really ineffective over there. And the other thing about Ludovic is Ludovic will stun for 3 seconds the first time an enemy walks into Everboom Fields, which is another good way to counter enemy SCARLITAs, because in a SCARLITA stall team, it's all about SCARLITA coming down and with her combo, knocking off 2 to 3 heroes from the enemy side, and then just having the numbers advantage and cleaning everything up from there. If SCARLITA can't kill anything, which was also what happened because we had Coco protecting the team with damage reduction and the constant heals from Ludovic, my SCARLITA couldn't kill anyone. We can watch the replay that we actually won to get an idea of how things can go wrong, but I think on average, definitely, his team will be clearing my defense. And I had to change up my formation, my defense, to try something a little bit different. So here his positioning was, I think, a little bit worse. Like, I think before his Thorin and Vala were closer to the bottom of the battlefield, but now Thorin was positioned one tile up. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention, but okay. We killed the Odie before Odie was able to get healed, but because of this is the problem. Okay, this is actually a perfect way to show Ludovic. Ludovic's Everbloom field was on the left over here. It was not healing Odie because we were all grouped up in a peculiar position, and that caused his Everbloom field to go there, and then there was no healing for poor Odie, and Odie dies. But so that is why the positioning will definitely matter, especially with your running Ludovic on your offense. The positioning can make the difference between you winning or losing. So definitely that positioning was not optimal because then my Iron grouped up those 4 into an area over there, and then Ludovic prioritized Everbloom fields on them and forgot about the Odie, and Odie died. So that is an important thing to keep in mind as well. But when Ludovic works, he works so well. And if you have a good like positioning of your entire team, his healing is almost unmatched by other heroes. But that being said, I do think Smokey would be a really good replacement for Vala. And my Haywin was not casting her ultimate because of the Vala, so definitely Vala helped him out in that team. But if you don't have that option, I think it's fine to replace it. Now guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a replay that Dream has shared to me, who is another guildmate who uses kind of a similar team type strategy but without Ludovic, because I think he shared it with me before Ludovic was even released. Okay guys, we have an arena offensive attack from Dream. Very similar team type of composition as you can see here, but instead of Ludovic for the heals, he has Smokey because Ludovic was not released yet, and I think Smokey can be a good option. And instead of Vala, he's gone for whatever other built-up damage that he has, who is Rhys. And Rhys does surprisingly well, especially into enemy Iron teams, because Rhys cannot be controlled in the first 8 seconds of a match. So he is kind of a counter to Iron. And also, of course, he's a Mauler faction, which has factional advantage over the Wilders. And so here's another great example of how to clear SCARLITA using no Celestial Hypogean heroes, and using mainly heroes you're going to be building up for Dream Realm, like Thorin, Smokey, Coco, and Odie. You should all be building up for Dream Realm, and once you get them highly ascended, they can also put together a really powerful PvP team as well. Okay, so again, we have... Okay, and this is going to be what you want to do. Now, if you have Smokey on your team as your healer, and even honestly, if you have Ludovic, you want your team all grouped up as much as possible, because that will mean that Smokey can heal everyone, Ludovic's Everbloom field can heal everyone, and you'll get the most value from these healers. And now that everyone's grouped up, Smokey ultimate is, or Smokey aura is there, we have the Coco ultimate cast. We're so protected. It's now just going to be how quickly can we kill the enemy, and they're just trying to work down enemies one at a time. So far, the Iron has been taken out, and that is, now we're 5v4. SCARLITA descends, but we have the damage reduction effect from Coco's ultimate active on everyone, and that is another way that Coco really kind of counters SCARLITA pretty hard. Because if your damage reduction effect is up, then SCARLITA cannot kill with her combo, and but unfortunately here she still managed to kill a couple of the heroes because there was some time between our next up ultimate cast of Coco. But still, Rhys is off on the side, killing everything, and then we have Thorin here. But for example, like let's say we had Ludovic instead of Rhys, and going for a full sort of healer support type comp, I think that would also be able to do a similar type of thing, because Coco's ultimate buys enough time to allow you to heal up your entire team to full, and when Coco's ultimate is up, and SCARLITA, if she goes for her ultimate cast, it's not going to kill anyone. And then you just need to buy enough time to heal everyone back up to 100%. And then when the damage settlement happens of Coco's ultimate, it probably won't be enough for them to die anyway. So that is another type of team composition you can use. So basically the common trend you're going to see is Thorin, Odie, Ludovic if you have him built up, or Smokey, and Coco. So really Thorin, Odie, Coco are the core. Thorin is just so difficult to take down. He buys so much time for your team, and when you're going for these compositions, you want to have your team kind of grouped up all together. And for the final slot, you can use Vala, you can use Rhys. If you have neither of them, I guess you could use Smokey. If you don't have Ludovic, for example, then maybe even Haywen, maybe Damien. Basically, you just want to try and maximize the healing you have, the support you have, and then you have your OD as your key damage dealer to work down enemies one by one. And it will be a pretty effective team. So I just wanted to share these team compositions because I found them really cool. There is another one that Dream shared me a replay of his defense, because so you might be thinking, okay, this is great that this is a good offense team, but can these teams be viable on defense? And they can. So here is Dream's defense replay with the same exact team, and he managed to win against someone, Gideon, bringing a Scarlita, Arden, Iron team. Now again, I don't think that this defense is going to allow you to get to top 5, maybe even getting top 20, depending on the competitiveness of your server may not be possible, but Dream is always in the top 20. And he runs defenses like this. And he is a low spender person, so he's a great example of someone who plays actively and is smart, and he just does really well with what heroes are given to him. And so this is another great type of team composition you can run. And like I mentioned, if you don't have Rhys here, you can sub him out for another support. You can sub him out for another Vala or a kind of long-range damage dealer, but I would not recommend Sylvina. Sylvina is pretty easy to counter if you're placing Sylvina on your defense, and also Sylvina if you are even going on offense against a Scarlita stall team. Sylvina doesn't do that well because there's no priority target that is easy for the Sylvina to kill. So here the Scarlita comes down, but it's too late. Almost the entire team has died, and because of OD working them down and Rhys dealing damage. And Coco's ultimate is also in effect here, so it's just going to be basically waiting until the ultimate duration is going to end from Coco, which happened right there, and then some of the teammates did die, but there's still 2 versus 1, and Arden is almost dead, and they're just going to clean it up. But if, for example, you had another healer here like Ludovic instead of Rhys, I don't think anyone would have died, because in that time when everyone was low health, Ludovic would be healing constantly, and so they wouldn't have even got into that health status. So that's why these kind of stall type support teams, especially if you're running Coco, Smokey, OD, then if you throw in a Ludovic and then a Thorin as a tank, it's a pretty menacing and difficult defense that you could try and run. And you would also get the factional synergy of having 3 Maulers with Smokey in there as well. But yeah, so hopefully this can give you an idea, and you can try out these teams even against the Scarlita defenses you might be seeing in your server. But you'll also have to keep in mind, like if someone has multiple Celestial Hypogeans like Talene, Scarlita, or even Diurnal Scarlita, I don't think that this team is going to work, but for the pure Scarlita stall teams, potentially this is a good team that you can try. But anyway guys, that is going to be it for this video. I hope it was helpful, I hope you enjoyed it. I will hopefully see you guys in the next video, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because I upload daily AFK journey videos. But thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you next time, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.